First things first, guys. How are you?
Great.
Very good.
Yeah.
Good to hear.
Yes.
Good time.
So before we get into the music you've been making lately and your plans for the future, I'd like to start with the festival season.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously you're behind the decks now most of the time. Do you remember, and I'll start with you, Jurre, do you remember the last time you went to a concert or festival just as a visitor?
Just as a visitor? Ooh. Well, actually, last year we went to Coachella.
Okay.
Just as a visitor, and that was amazing. Like, really amazing. So that's a goal we definitely want to achieve, to play there someday.
Did you go together?
Yeah, we were there, together. Yeah.
Why Coachella?
We were actually performing at another show, and a friend of ours was playing there, and we were like, we're gonna come and check you out. Mm-hmm. And of course, hang at Coachella.
Okay.
And we saw a couple of cool artists.
Jack U.
Jack U, A$AP Rocky.
Okay.
Lido.
Yeah.
What's the one that sticks out for you? The best show you saw?
Yeah, Lido was cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because he does everything live. So he plays the keys, the drums, the singing, everything.
Yeah.
He jumps from instrument to instrument, and it's just a really funny thing to see. Somebody like walking around, and then he's playing that, and then he's singing, and then he's drumming. So it was really cool, really interactive.
And something
stuff.
different, like, so I really like that show, yeah.
And the interesting thing then is, because now you're on the other side, so how do you experience, if you see people playing music in that way from the perspective of an audience, does that change kind of, or do you think, oh, this maybe this...
No, I like it actually in that way as well, because you really, especially with Lido, like, I didn't know most of his tracks, so he was premiering a lot of new stuff from his new album, so it was new music, a new show with the visuals and everything, so it was really, like as a visitor, you were just enjoying the show. I really like that. Yeah.
Okay. And well, you mentioned this kind of new show, new everything. So and which is what you did about a year ago as well. How come? Well, why? First of all, why this change? Why do this rebranding?
In a lot of ways, it was because we were becoming a little bit matured, older as persons, but also as artists. So we wanted to show the people that how we changed and what we stand for. And it was with everything, a new logo, new pictures, new website, new music, and everything. We would just wanted to start over again.
Okay.
And be Firebeatz 2.0. So that's why we wanted to do that. Yeah.
And then, like you mentioned, you're older. Obviously, you're not the same guys as you were a couple of years ago. So
Exactly.
What is for the biggest difference is not the right question, but what for you is has been the development over the years?
Well, we still enjoy like every second of it, but it changed a bit more into, well, Firebeatz is really a business as well. So,
right.
So you need to think about stuff like marketing, planning with releases, shows, where are we gonna tour, in what order, all those kind of things. Like in the beginning or a few years ago, it was just like doing anything, and we still like to do anything, but it needs to some more planning. So that's a big change, I think, the last 2 years that happened.
Plus, with the longevity, with a career that is longer than like, for say, somebody that has one hit and tours 2 years and then is done. We have a long career, and then in the end, people expect stuff from you, and people think of you in a certain way. And if your branding totally doesn't fit that, you want it to be. Want it to match that, fit that, but also show them that you who you are.
So what is this kind of image? Is it more professionalism, or how do you want people to perceive?
I mentioned the longer career, so I can compare it with, say, like guys as Chocolate Puma. We have like a huge career, and we want to show them that we are that. You know, that we have the knowledge, and that we're here to stay, like that. And I think we've matured in so many ways, as in our performance, as in our music, the collaborations we did, because we did a collaboration with Calvin Harris, we did one with Chesto, with Martin Garrix, and it's all, top stuff. So that's why we wanted to show them through our marketing and branding and everything. Yeah.
I find this interesting. So if we go back to kind of the first releases, and then what was your expectations of being in this business? Did you think, okay, we're gonna do this for 20, 30 years, or?
No. actually we didn't have like, I think, a big expectation. We were just actually in class and we had this assignment, like make a track together. And that's where it started actually. And from there it kept growing, but like every time a little step.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I think that's a very good thing, because like Tim said, we've been here for like 8 or 9 years already, and it's still going steady up.
Yeah.
Instead of having, like you said, one hit and you go through the roof, but then I think most of the times you're not ready for what's going to happen.
Right.
And we've been growing up together with the industry, so we know a lot about it. And well, like Tim said, you're at a certain level, so people expect something from it. So that's the thing you need to think about when you release stuff or in anything what you bring out to the people. But I mean, we still enjoy it, so that's the most important.
So is that difficult that you feel kind of, okay, we have to have a good release now? No. Or is it not like that?
Yeah, well, we've had some struggles with the music, because at a certain point we just weren't releasing music, and we were thinking about it. Is it really as bad as it is? It's not. I think you're always as good as your last release, and you shouldn't rush it because you feel like you have to release something. That's not a great way, or not a good thought to release music with. It has to be great, to be fully understand what you're doing, and be 100% behind your product, and not just to do anything. I mean, then of course it doesn't need to take years, but then you can take your time, because when it comes out, it's a great track and a great release, and you're going to be 100% behind it. I think that's important.
So with this guy, and you mentioned the rebranding, so has your approach when you're in the studio, has that changed as well?
Not a lot, especially the last couple of months, and it started last year. We did like a session in LA with songwriters, and that was really an eye-opener, because we just went into the studio, and like Tim said, we just sat there and we just made music, not like really think about the industry is going that direction, oh we have to make that. Right. So that's really, that was an eye-opener, and of course, like Tim said, it needs to be on quality, on point. Plus
the fact that if you look at our career, we never actually sat down and said to each other, we want to make this, or we're going to do this because it's successful. But if you look back now, what we're doing now is, oh, in our career, at this point, this was successful. At this point, this was successful. So we're going to take that, and now we can put it in a plan and do it. It's not staged. It's not because we already did it, and it felt natural because we never thought about it. So now we're taking all those good points, taking them, and then we can make a plan out of it. So we think more about what we're doing, but we're not trying to stage anything or try to do anything we don't want to do.
So in a sense, it's more, you know better what you like and what you want, and you
mature,
have the skills to kind of make it.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay. So if we take one of the latest releases, Ignite, can you take me to that first moment in the studio when the first kind of idea started?
Yeah, well, the first thing of the breakdown actually, my father is a pianist. Okay. Yeah. And he was playing this part of Bach.
Okay.
And we were like, that part is, of course, it rocks, like it's
cool.
Super cool. Yeah. And he played it, and we used that MIDI notes and shifted it around. That was the idea of the breakdown. The idea of the drop, we had like the basics of that already like 3 years, 4 years.
Yeah, we
like
made it in Australia, and we just went into the studio because we toured back then. That's 3 years ago. We were touring with Ministry of Sound. They have a great office with a studio space, so that's where we made the drop. And we always loved it, and we never had a good breakdown. So we went in the studio, and like he said, his dad, he's a great classical pianist. He started playing. We were like, hey, gonna use that, and then like transformed it. And then I started saying stuff over it, and it worked out.
Yeah,
I find it very, very fascinating. So your father is a classical pianist.
Yeah, together with my mother, they play like quatre-mains. So
okay,
so very funny.
When you started making the music that you make, what did he think of it?
They really liked it actually. It's funny because they had a lot of colleagues and they asked like, what is Jurre doing? And they're like, yeah, he's a DJ. And they're like,
oh really?
Oh, really? But they always support it and they really like it because we are actually composing. Right. And like they are always like playing.
And we think very differently.
Stuff. Yeah, it's a different state of mind. Yeah.
But so do they give you feedback as well? Because obviously they know about melody, they know about.
Yeah, sometimes, but not too much because if we really let them play on a record, it's not danceable anymore.
Sure,
like it's too much symphonies and stuff. But it's always good to have them check it for sure. Yeah.
Cool. And well, to get back to Ignite, you have that track then, and then you decide, okay, we're gonna release it for free.
Yeah.
How come? Because you mentioned the business side of it.
Well, we're, we said earlier, we're gonna do a lot of stuff ourselves in the coming time, and we're starting our own label, and we have our own team. And basically, we just wanted to see how it worked out if we did it ourselves.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest motivation to give it away for free.
Yeah.
And I think for us it was a pilot for what's going to happen coming time. Yeah.
Right.
And also for our fans, and just to give them something as a thanks for the support, and just have a release out there and just give it away, because if it's like an official release, it needs planning, and it would take another couple of months again. So.
Well, you mentioned something I've heard more about from DJs, where there's set times when you release a track, and then once you've completed a track, it's maybe months even before it gets released. Yeah. So, is creating your own label, does that help with kind of putting something out right when you want?
Sure. You always have to plan stuff, of course, because or else it would be one big chaos. But I think with the new label, for instance, say we have a planning, but we do something in the studio that's so great, and we have to put it out now. So then you can do it yourself, and that freedom is very important to us. Yeah.
And then on the flip side, then, because there are business elements to it.
Yeah.
And I can imagine you enjoy playing music, creating music a lot more than filling out forms and that kind of stuff. So how will you balance those two worlds?
Yeah, you always have to balance that, but that's like Tim said, building an own team, like with the label, everything that works together like one big circle, and then you also need to trust that people like they give you good input, and that's the way we always did it with releases. Like, of course, we had good A&Rs and they helped us, like, this is a good track, whatever. But in the end, we are Firebeatz, so we decide what we want.
Yeah.
And that's a great feeling that you have.
Sure.
Yeah, so we're very privileged that we can and also can afford to have an own team, because like you said, it's a business side. Everybody has to make money. But we trust in our team, and we think that with this team that we can really like do it ourselves, but in our way. Yeah. So in that way, they're gonna do all the paperwork, and we just say like in big lines, we want it that way, we want this track there, and then they take it from there. Yeah. So that's fantastic. Yeah.
And what is the vision, in a way, the vision for the future then? Because like you say, you want longevity, you want to be able to do this for a while. How do you see yourself? Yeah,
we want to make the brand Ignite because of the track. I think we're going to start from there. Okay. And then we want our own stages on big festivals. We want to do the record label, of course, with our own releases, but we're also going to have new talent on it that we really support, because we have a very distinct taste in what we like and what we don't like. We're going to do a tour with the label, like
expanding the radio show. There's so much stuff that's going on already, that we want to like take it to the next level. We always want to take it to the next level.
Definitely.
Well, you mentioned new talent, and that you have a very specific taste. So what are you looking for in new talent?
Right now, I'm really flattered by the productions of Bro Hug. They're really cool.
Moxie is doing great.
Moxie, Ibanovsky, Schella. Those are guys. So it's all more clubby sound, more bass influences, more. We really like that at the moment.
Rough edge.